Oh my God, the excruciating pain I saw my wife in. Honestly, I don't wish that kind of pain on my enemy.
Remember
the emotional intensity.
Oh my God.
You know, even my brain was just pop, pop, pop. You know, like she was just saying the manners of nonsense to me. You know, and I
don't remember that.
Hello, welcome back again to Thrive with the Bummy Days. And as always, if you're new on our channel, I am Felix.
I'm Olanike.
And it's really good to have you join us. We are really grateful that you've decided to stay tuned to our channel and for liking and watching our videos. On one of our previous videos, we started a series which is my experience in the labor room. And on the part 1, which was the previous video, if you've not watched that, please find it in our list of videos to watch the part 1 as to what my experience were in terms of preparing for
preparation before the D-Day.
Exactly.
Your thoughts, your emotions, what led to that day and all of that. So that is what is in part 1. So in the part 2, we'll be talking about your first labor room experience. So that is with Phoebe, when we had Phoebe, our almost 3 months old.
No, almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, sorry, old child.
Right.
So that is what we'll be talking about today. So are you ready?
I am. So let's dive straight into it.
Yes. So what was your first reaction going into the labor room, entering that magic room? What was your first reaction?
Well, the first reaction was, you were charmed, and I drove you to the maternity center. And on getting to the maternity center, we went to the reception, and then you went to the antenatal ward. So it was from the antenatal ward that you were assessed, and they said, oh yeah, you were due to have the baby. So the first thought that, a lot of thought came to my mind, but I said, my goodness, it's really happening. So from there, I stayed with you in the antenatal ward for a while. Then I went back home to make food. And so luckily my mother-in-law was around, and she was really supportive as well. So she was at home, and so I went to make food. She wanted to come, but I said, oh mom, it's fine, know. And so after I'd gone back home to make food, got all the stuff that you needed, you told me to bring a couple of
I think food, and the fact that just to chip in that the fact that when I was in antenatal ward, they were saying that we still have few hours on the wait and all of that. So that was why you went back home, because obviously they said there's still like a queue, there's no spot for me in the labor room at that time, and they were like, okay, it might not happen today. So mind you, we went for induction at 2 p.m. It was already in the afternoon. So when we got there, after checking, I think it was probably like 3-4-ish.
Exactly.
And they were saying, oh, okay, it might not be today, so you don't have to wait. So that was why you went back home with my mom.
Exactly. So so like you rightly said, the induction was 2 p.m. and I went back home, to meet mom, and I got food,
bottled water,
a few stuff. You requested bottled water, some sanitary wares and stuff like that you wanted me to bring. I think also some change of clothing. And so I got all of that, and then mom was like, oh, she wanted to come and stay with you. I said, oh mom, it's fine, we'll be fine. And so I went back into the antenatal. By that time, before I got back, you'd been, like she said, it was a queue. And I knew that by the time I got back, you were no longer in the antenatal. You had been moved to the labor room. So as soon as I got to the antenatal, the lovely midwife there said to me, oh, she's been moved to the labor room. And it was
so I was moved because when you left, when they were checking my vital signs and observation, they discovered that my blood pressure was too high, and then they gave me a couple of meds, but it was in sports. So I can remember that it was even a midwife that packed my hospital bag, which was in the antenatal ward. She took it to the labor room and just followed me, and she was like, we can't wait for your husband, just tell him to meet us there.
Exactly. So as soon as I got into the labor room, and just to also add to that, my wife will be really talking about a pregnancy journey at some point in one of our videos, because it's really an intense moment. But we'll be we'll be talking about that in one of our videos. So when I got into the labor room and I saw you there, I was just like, so it's really, really going to happen. And we had the midwives coming in. We were really, really grateful. We were really, really lucky and also grateful to the team of midwives that looked after my wife in Pool Hospital in the UK. They were really, really lovely set of people. They supported us, they provide. So right in the labor room, anyways, you were there. We had the midwife coming in, checking you and saying, if you feel like pushing, if you feel that urgency. I think one of them even mentioned if you feel like pooing,
they need to know about it. Remember they said something like that.
Exactly.
So, and at that point it was just about like supporting.
It was
supporting me through that journey. So what would you say the support that you offered?
Well, my support was enormous and countless.
Sorry for the laugh.
Because first of all, it was going home to get you all the stuffs, and then right in the labor room, I had to be strong for her because I knew you started having pains. You have this subtle contraction that would come and go, and I'm like, what's going on? But then I didn't express it. I just had to be strong for her because I knew I wasn't the one carrying the pregnancy. I know she knows how she's feeling with the baby within her. My job is to sort of give her that emotional support. Now, let's fast forward to when the delivery was about to happen. So when you were dilated, because we had what we call an SVD, a spontaneous vaginal delivery. And when that moment almost came, we had, the midwife came and you said to her, it's going to happen. You gave birth to Phoebe 3:33 a.m. on the 9th of March 2022. The time sticks in my head.
I know.
It's going to be there till
forever, till eternity. Till you have your memory, until your memory
until my memory just fades away. So before that 3:33 a.m., which was when Phoebe came, it was like the midwives were there. I saw them trying to set up their equipment. They had their pads. They had, all manners of stuff. They had all these things here and there, all the gadgets that they needed to. They had it all set up. And you were, oh my God, the excruciating pain I saw my wife in. Honestly, I don't wish that kind of pain on my enemy. Because it is intense. She had to really push. That moment was really intense, really intense. And as a man or as a partner, if you're going to have a child, if you can manage to be there for your partner during that phase, I think it's going to be one of the best memory you can ever have, because for me, it's still one of the best memory I have. My wife had to push the screaming, the shout, the screaming.
I remember
the emotional intensity.
Oh my God.
Even my brain was just pop.
And because my Phoebe's delivery was it was induced.
Yes, it was.
So and they wanted everything to be very fast because my blood pressure wasn't dropping. They wanted everything to be very fast. So I think the pain just came like at
it came. And even I remember, when I gave you this gas and this gas something, was it gas?
Gas and air.
My wife was like, she was just saying a manners of nonsense to me, and I
don't remember that.
I remember Tisina to say, then people had not come out. I remember shooting a video, and I think we're going to add the video that I shot then to this video to say, this is your mom's feeder now, she's enjoying this feeder, because I had that gas and air in my hand
for
and then
hours.
She hold my hand like this. I need to push the thing into her mouth.
Honestly,
I'm like,
those times I had no memory. You did videos. So
actually, I did a video.
Like the videos that I saw.
Let's assume this is me. So this is her hand. This is my hand, which is So she held me this way and said, I should push the thing in her mouth again to say, get me this air.
The pain was really intense.
And she never even thought for 1 second that my hand could even be aching me. I had that stuff for God knows how long. But anyways, Phoebe came out. As soon as Phoebe came out, my goodness, the joy was was unbelievable. It's unquantifiable.
Yeah.
But then you also had episiotomy, which I think you mentioned when you do your pregnancy videos.
Yes.
You know, that is another story on its own. You know, having to have this, you know, as soon as Phoebe came out, we had the neonatal team, the pediatrics team came.
Yes.
They supported us to get Phoebe, you know, resuscitated and, you know, vacuum, all those stuff. So
not really resuscitation, because I think because of my pre-existing
exactly.
condition.
Yes.
So they had the neonatologist on call. It was like outside of the labor room.
Yeah.
But eventually, it didn't do much, because I remember that it was saying,
she didn't actually.
Yeah, I think on just seeing her, she started crying immediately, obviously. Yeah. So I think it was E. It was just like, okay, everything is fine. I've got E.
Okay.
Yeah, E.
No, she.
Well,
she.
I don't remember.
For Phoebe,
the neonatologist.
Is she.
Okay.
She.
I just saw someone in a lab coat with the stand where they put the baby. That is what I have in my memory. But I can't recall. I just saw the lab coat. I can't recall if female or male. So eventually, because I'm gonna talk in depth about it, that was like an episode. They had to call a code, and I felt immediately Phoebe came out, they called a code. I felt it was for Phoebe, but when the neonatologist came, it was like, oh, she's perfect, and I was like, why they rushed? So I think the consultant was not explaining to me that, oh, it's not for Phoebe, it's for me and everything. I'm gonna tell you all about what happened in our video about the pregnancy and labor room video from my own perspective.
So anyways, just to add to that and to finish up that storyline, so you had the episiotomy, me seeing you having that, you know, sutures. Yes, you had anesthesia, but it was a local anesthesia, for God's sake. It was a local anesthesia. The pain was, you know, it was really intense. And I was there. I literally was there. I was watching through when the suturing was going on, because the initial doctor that came, I think she was probably second year in residency or something like that. She had to call in a senior colleague who came to actually do the suturing. I was there. I watched it. I counted the number of sutures that was put in place. You know, I had to ask questions as to what kind of care do you need to look after the sick. So I got all those information, you know, there, but it was really, really intense. And that moment when Phoebe came out, and, you know, at the end of the whole episiotomy, it took a few hours actually. And then we had to take Phoebe, we had to cuddle her. It just felt like we never experienced the moment, because then the child had come. But during that phase of pregnancy, the screaming, the pushing, the groaning, the episiotomy, honestly, it's a memory that stays with me it's going to stay with me for a very long time. But my advice to men out there is, if your partner is pregnant, or your wife, or your spouse, it would be nice for you to really, really be with them. If you can, you know, be there with them, because that's going to really, really help you bond more with your partner.
Yeah. So just for our audience, if you were present, or you would like to share your labor room memories or experience as a man, we'd love to hear.
We'd love to hear it, actually.
We'd love to hear about it. So please drop it in a comment section, or just send us a private message about it. We'd love to hear what other people experienced during their own period. If it's like close to what we experienced, or what Mr. Boy experienced, not my experience.
Oh yeah, I remember the gas on there. My wife was just saying all manners of stuff. You know, called me all sorts of names.
Oh, bless you. I can't remember that. So I deny. I don't have memory of that.
Well, I have the memory. That's why I'm saying it on this video.
I deny everything I've said. I was not in my right state of mind.
Anyways, the idea is, of course, it's an emotional moment. You know, and I understood it. I completely understood it. So all of what she said to me never... I don't think I even recall that. You know, what I can recall are the sweet memories, you know, that has happened. And that support that I gave my wife. So if you like our video, please don't forget to subscribe, put on your notification bell, and also like and share our video with your friends or your loved ones. And part 3 is going to also be my experience with Joshua.
Yes, so our second child.
Our second child, because it's slightly different from Phoebe. I'll be talking about my experience with Joshua, and then we'll wrap it up in part 4. Once again, thank you for staying tuned to our channel, and thank you for watching this video. We love you, and we'll see you till we see you next time. Bye-bye. as soon as I got back, set up everywhere in the labor room. You had a playlist of songs.
Yes, we had the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, so I came with the Bluetooth speaker as well.
Yeah.
I did set it up like a small DJ, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was cozy. Yeah. It was relaxing. It was really good.